All right, everybody, what's up, man? Check out the love. So here it is, man. 30 days out. I was given 620 bucks by my homeboy Big Mikey. Again, big homie, thank you. Allowed me to go to the 1-3 game at the Bellagio, where I met this old man and his wife playing 1-3. Guy's like a multi-millionaire. He's in town for a week, and he stakes me in the 5-10 game my first week out. I put 6,100 in my pocket. I beat the game for a little bit over 16 grand. He let me keep 6 of it. So that was pretty sick. Was able to, get a wardrobe, play a little bit of cash game, a couple baby stones for the earrings, for the ears, driving brand new rides. Not bad for somebody who's supposed to fail, They said no matter what, I'm supposed to fail. Just because I've been there before. I told everybody what I'm determined to do and where I'm determined to end up at. The first 30 days have been kind of rough on me. I been doing really good playing poker. After the, down payment for the car and the clothing and the plane and the whatever. 30 days out, vehicle, clothes, jewelry, brand new cell phone, headphones, the GoPro, everything that we need to do our shit that we're trying to do right now. And I have a $3,200 plane bankroll. It's plain and living though. Bills are paid. Got about a $2,000 a month nut right now that I got to come up with. So that's a little steep considering that's, a large chunk of my bankroll. I'm all paid up till February though, so I paid all the January shit already. So life is good, man. I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask me a lot of questions. Feel free to continue to do that. I'll answer them as often and as bluntly and as straightforward as I can. Now let's get into the games. Wow. I heard all this time that I was gone about how the games were so much tougher and, so much harder to beat and all this and all that. Everybody's playing no limit. So all the variance from limit, from everybody chasing you, and you just have to show up the best hand at the end of the river, that's out the window. So a lot of the variance that was coming in poker is been eliminated by the game being switched, for me anyhow. One good thing about coming home and being in prison for 15 and a half years, there's actually some good sides to it, especially for me right now. My ability to stay composed, not getting rattled, not getting aggravated, not getting flustered. Because where I've been the last 15 years is night and day different than where I'm at now. Another thing is my ability to see everything. I'm seeing things so clearly. When you play poker on the inside, you got to worry about the guy next to you is going to stab the guy across from you, or whether or not the guy is going to try to cuff some chips out of the pot, because you only play with playing cards. You don't have chips per se. You got to worry about people cheating. You got to worry about the gang affiliations that are hanging around the table. Like I said, I seen 3 very brutal stabbings over poker at a poker table. Just while we were playing poker, guys just get up and just start taking off. Start stabbing dudes in their neck, their face, their chest, their arms, wherever they can get them at. Now I don't have to worry about that. All I get to do now is just sit there and concentrate on what I see. A couple of plays that are being well overdone that I don't understand the concept behind. These guys are calling down super light on the river. The lower limits, there's not enough value for you to call all these bluffs that I see everybody calling. You show up at the river with top pair, decent kicker, even second pair, high kicker, value bet it, because you're going to get paid off. Somebody's going to call you with middle pair and a horrible kicker, 4 to a straight draw with a middle pair, and because they want to show their hand so bad that they call the bets just to expose their hand. They're like, oh, look how unlucky I am. So we need to make sure that we penalize people like that. And the majority of the players at the table are like that. Value betting is a very, very huge way to make money. It really is. I've done it quite a few times where I've known I could pick up $50 or $60 because the pot is 500, but I know this guy can't call no substantial bet. So I'm picking my ranges of 50 to 80 to even $100 into a $500 pot just to make sure that I get that dinner money, that tip money, that extra dollars out of their pocket that helps pay the phone bills and helps, you know what I mean, put gear on and shit like that. So something I have been able to capitalize on is floating the flop and betting straight out on the turn. Now your reads have to be good in this position to know that his range is not equivalent to what's out there, or just the fact that you have to pick up some type of read on that individual player. But I've been able to pick up a large percentage of my wins have come from floating the flop and betting straight out on the turn. Not trying to check raise, not trying to get them over obligated or over fancy. Smooth call, bet out on the turn. Especially on flops that ain't consistent with what the hell the guy has. Put the pressure on him. Don't try to check raise him on the flop. Make sure you don't get a dangerous card on the turn. Kind of be a little protective of yourself. Just in case he is sitting there with a monster and he snaps you. You want to make sure that you see the next card so you can really evaluate where you stand. So that's why I like to float the flop and then try to either make my move on the turn. I don't look for it a lot of times. But if I see a guy playing a lot of hands, or if I see a guy whose range is just so polarized compared to where he's sitting at and what's on that flop, it's a good opportunity to take advantage of him. Living that 702 lifestyle every day, man. Trying to keep my head down, keep on grinding every day. It's difficult after all those years being gone, and you see all these people in relationships and, in these, fully established lives. And here I am, 30 days out. And if you don't know me, you don't know the difference. That was something I was kind of worried about, whether or not my persona or my personality or my aura, my presence would completely stand out. Now it does in certain environments because I'm a big dude and my tattoos and stuff like that, but it's not because of my vocabulary, my verbiage, my anything like that. So I get a lot of people telling me that they can't tell by the way that I speak or the way that I act, that I've done a lot of time in prison, and so that's good for me. I've been able to make sure that I wasn't completely engulfed in the scenario and the situations that were going on in prison, and allowed my overall persona and personality to change. Also, I know I do curse a lot more now than what I did before I went in, and it's unfortunate, but literally in there, every other word is a curse word in there. So if you see me at the table, you see me cussing, check me, man. Let me know I shouldn't be doing that, that it's, it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? It doesn't look good at all. It makes me look like I'm ignorant, and I try not to look that way. But sometimes you get so caught up in your everyday life that you don't realize some of the ignorant things that you do. Easily to be overlooked when it's an everyday occurrence versus an occasional occurrence. Tilt. Oh my God. So I know I had a tilt day already. I had an expectational tilt. Was doing really well. I was playing well, seeing well, and everything that I had been doing the last couple of days, I just went in there and was like, I'm just gonna keep on playing the same way. Like I'm just gonna play a certain way no matter what the table's playing like. And I went in there just like, oh, everybody has to know who I am and what I'm doing. They can see the tattoos. Like, they gotta recognize and they gotta respect every play that I make. I got snapped, I got called, I got stacked. It was horrible. Oh my God, it was horrible. And I did it myself, on most of the hands. 2K one day, man. At the time it was like about half my bankroll. And I went home and I rested it off for about 3 days. Went to the gym, went and played a little basketball, got myself together, just to clear my mind. And I've been back for about 3 days now. So it's another thing. I see people putting in mad hours. I'm already over like 240 hours already in the month. I think I'm at 274 actually is what it was today. Before I left today, it's 274. So I got 274 hours in 30 something days, 31 days. I'm putting a lot of hours in. You know, people always ask me, does it bother me that I tell people my bankroll and whatever? No, because it doesn't affect whether or not I'm going to fire. That's one thing about it. I'll fire my last 500 on a bluff, whatever. I mean, it's poker. I'm not concerned with the overall outcome. It's whether or not I play that hand at that particular moment to the best of my abilities. And that's the problem I see with a lot of players. They get so goal orientated or so win-loss orientated. Listen, you're going to lose hands. You're going to lose a lot of fucking hands playing this game. You're going to lose a lot of hands. But it's the hands that you lose and also some of the hands that you win where you make up and subtract your overall wins and losses. It's a brutal game, but hey, this is why we play it. But you cannot allow it to set you on tilt, or you got to make sure that you play every hand to the best of your ability. Pre-flop, flop, turn, river. That's what you need to do. It's not about whether or not you win the hand at the end of the day. We're all playing to win. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. The guy has an 18% chance. The guy doesn't know that he's supposed to fold bottom two and makes, you know what I mean, and makes a full house, you know what I mean, against your top two on the turn. You know what I mean? It happens. He catches his full house. You can't put him on that runner 4-4 to go with the 8 that he already had. You know what I mean? You're turning over 10-8 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And the dude turns over 8-4. What are you upset about? You got the man to commit all of his money on back-to-back streets, flop and turn in the worst position possible, drawn to a 2-outer on the turn. Come on, you can't be mad about that. You know, he got there. It happens. I see dudes go tilt, 500, boom. Very next hand, all in, going crazy. Very next hand, boom, reloading again for another 300 because the guy that called him had 300. You know what I mean? Took another 300 out of his 500 snack. Now the dude's down $1,000 in 2 hands because he went on tilt because he got upset about a guy beat him with an 8-4 runner. It sucks. I have to deal with it. It's terrifying. I go busted, I'm on the rail. I don't got a job. It's very difficult for me to find work. I've been looking for apartments. I've been turned down 7 different places. 7 places have turned me down to get an apartment because I'm a convicted felon. I've never even heard of no shit like that. Just because I'm a convicted felon. For property crime on top of that. You know? I can't even get an apartment in 7 different places that I've applied in. Somebody told me if I went to a certain part of town, back to the northeast or the east side or you know what I mean, maybe in certain parts of the west, the old west, I can get an apartment. But that's the type of part of town that I'm trying to live in. You know, I left the east, I left the hood, I left the trailer park, you know, a long time ago, and I don't want to go back to that. When you have the opportunity, say hi. You know, I'm always out here networking, trying to do things. You know, the most beneficial thing that's ever happened to me in the last 31 days now is the fact that I got $600 from somebody, and then I got a back for a week, and I just crushed the game for a week. I'm looking so bad for a backer. I need a backer so bad because, you know, right now, like I said, I'm playing with, you know, a $3,000 bankroll. I'm playing 2-5. You know, 2 bad days, and I'm out the game, man. And that's where the trouble comes into. Then what do I do? Then where do my decisions lie? Then what are my choices in life? Do I just go out and steal another semi-truck? Do I go out and steal another U-Haul or a moving truck or a Snap-on or a delivery truck to go and make a quick bankroll? $20K, $30K, $50K. Depends on what's in the truck. $180 grand, $200 grand. I had a couple trucks that I hit back in the day where I put over $250,000 in my pocket. 4 separate times. $250,000 on each job. And now I'm struggling worrying about, you know, a 2-5 game. I need a backer. God, I need a backer, man. Because it was so nice when I was playing 5-10 and I knew that of course I had obligations to the money because I needed to win, but it allowed me to play a little bit more freely than what I'm playing right now. I feel as if I'm playing handicapped just a slight bit, just on certain plays, on certain streets that I would try to do something if I had a bankroll of 3 or 4 or 5 times what I have now. It would allow me to be able to play that extra 150 or 280 on the turn or on the river that I just can't afford to play with right now. Even though I know my reads are right, I have to believe in my reads. I know it. That's what we do. We practice it. We look at it. We analyze it. You have to believe in your reads, but I'm just can't take that chance right now. So hopefully I'll find a backer and we can keep this shit going. In the meantime, it's actually during a break right now of it's a 30-minute break at the tournament I'm in right now at the Orleans dinner break, or a lunch break. So I'm gonna go back in here and get back at this grind. Try and pull down my first tournament win. We're sitting pretty good. We got about 64,000 in chips, 25,000 chips starting event. So we're at the end of the buy-in session. So we'll see what happens. Listen, everybody, Chet Better Bluff, man. Check me out. Keep on subscribing. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram. It's all the same. Snapchat. Chet Better Bluff. No spaces. All right, everybody. Listen, man. Keep up. I'm telling you, it's going to get better. We're going to keep on grinding. And just make sure you keep up with the episodes, all right? All right, everybody. Chet Better Bluff. See you on the Filter.